Let's begin this broadcast with the latest updates coming from Afghanistan. Sources tell us that the Taliban may announce their government any time in the coming week. This comes amid reports that the group was likely to make the formal government formation announcement today evening after Friday prayers. Hectic parleys are underway in Kandahar, and from what we know so far, Mullah Baradar, the co-founder of the Taliban and its political chief, will lead the government, also known as the Executive Council. He will hold the second highest office after the Emir, who in all likelihood will be Sheikh Haibatullah Akhundzada, the Taliban chief. Sources tell us that Stanigzai will hold a senior position in the council along with Muhammad Yaqub, the son of Taliban's late leader Mullah Omar, and Sirajuddin Haqqani, the leader of Taliban's most feared wing, the Haqqani network. With this, the new era of the Taliban rule is possible in Afghanistan. Earlier, while speaking to the media, the deputy leader of the Taliban's political office in Doha, Mohammad Stanigzai, said that the government will be inclusive, will have representatives from all Afghan tribes, and women also will be a part of the upcoming cabinet. The Taliban itself has not made any promises in public, but experts around the world hope for the government to be inclusive. Stanigzai also said that any person who was part of any former Afghanistan governments during the last 20 years will not be included in the new Taliban administration, adding that Mullah Akhundzada will monitor the government from Kandahar, a place of high importance for the Taliban. On forming its council, the Taliban will govern according to the Islamic court, also known as Sharia law. Now, what you see on your screens now are piles of black and white Taliban flags. These images were uploaded by Ahmadullah Mutaqi, the chief of the multimedia branch for the Cultural Commission Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. Mutaqi also took to Twitter to share some images from Kabul. The picture showed slogans being written on walls and posters informing about the Afghanistan cabinet formation. The Taliban took over Kabul and announced the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan on the 15th of August, nearly 3 weeks ago, and since then it has made some notable appointments in the government. They have named a governor for Kabul, a mayor for Kabul, a governor for Nangarhar, a governor for Khost, the head of a sports federation, and a minister of higher education. Officials to run the Ministry of Public Health and the central bank have also been named. The road ahead will not be so easy for the Taliban. It will be ruling over a country that faces a grim economic and social crisis. There is resistance in the Panjshir Valley, as well as food shortage, a drought, sinking economic. The currency as of now is sinking, and there is rising inflation. The long list continues, unlike the country's pockets. Almost half of the Afghans live in poverty. They make less than $2 in a day. With the Taliban's takeover, Afghanistan's export business is witnessing a lull. The country also faces loss of billions of dollars in foreign aid, as many help groups have now halted their aid since the troop withdrawal, and the Taliban has promised that the economic hardships will ease once the new government comes in power. But like most other promises, only time will tell if these will be fulfilled or not. For more on this story, our correspondent Anas Malik is now joining us live from Kabul. Anas, thanks so much for joining us. What's the latest on the Taliban's government announcement plan? Sources suggest that Mullah Baradar, the co-founder of Taliban, will of course lead the government. Tell us more.
Absolutely, Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, the co-founder of the Taliban, is to lead the executive council that would be overlooking government affairs. So it won't be wrong to say that he will be leading the government. It is still unclear what will be the model of this setup that the Afghan Taliban will be bringing. We understand that Mullah Haibatullah Akhundzada will be the Amir or the head of the council. Under him would be the executive council, and under the executive council would be the council of ministers. It was supposed to be announced. It was anticipated that the announcement for the government formation would be coming in today, sometime after the Friday prayers, but that did not happen. In fact, that got delayed, and now the Afghan Taliban sources say that the announcement can take place somewhere in the coming week. Remember, the new week in Afghanistan begins on Saturday, Friday is a day off. Friday is considered relatively a holy day as well. What we understand is that the government confirmation would be done in Kandahar, and for that, consultations for that is in the final phase. There is some agreement on a couple of names with regards to the ministries, but other names, they are still under deliberation. What we also understand is this might not just be an inclusive government as what had been talked about, with the Taliban coming out and saying that those who have served with the previous governments or quote-unquote with the previous regimes would not be made part of their current government or of their government that is to come in time. Priyanka?
Right. Anas, now the UK's Dominic Raab has said that the UK will not recognize the Taliban government. How will this be perceived, and what does this mean for the regime's relations with the West?
Well, it's a bit too early to say that any country would recognize the Taliban rule or not, primarily because the Taliban seem to be more open to engaging with the Western world. We yesterday saw a meeting of the Taliban's political office back in Doha with the UK Deputy Foreign Secretary in Doha, and then we've seen them reaching out to the international community. The international community would be going for a wait-and-watch policy for now. As and when the government formation announcement comes in, they would be much more concerned with regards to Taliban's modus operandi, with regards to women's rights and human rights, and the fact that how much they're able to deliver on the promises or on the assurances that they've been doing. Therefore, it would be a bit too early to assess on or weigh in on the statement, at least here in Kabul. And Taliban watchers, in fact Taliban spokesperson as well, we've tried reaching out to them, but they are saying that as a background, they say that they've been in talks with the government and with different governments, and as and when their setup is announced, only then they would be in a position to comment as to who recognizes and who doesn't. Priyanka?
Anas Malik, thank you so much for joining us from Kabul, and thank you for all those insights. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.